one of my students from our summer program, Guardians of the Sea, and I want to ask you a question, Nash. How are forage fish related to orcas?
Well, the salmon eat the forage fish, and then the orcas eat the salmon.
Today is Orca Recovery Day, and we invited our students from our summer program, Guardians of the Sea, to come out and find out how forage fish are connected to our southern resident orcas. Southern resident orcas are endangered. There's only 74 of them left right now. So we're here with the Forage Fish Volunteer Survey Team, part of Fidalgo Bay Aquatic Reserve, and we're gonna hopefully find some really great forage fish eggs, have the students look at them under a microscope, see the different stages, and learn about what else is affecting forage fish in their environment right now. And then we're gonna tie it all back to orcas.
Forage fish are little silver fish about this long when they're grown up, and they are about this big, and they're very fatty. So they're a really high energy type of fish. There are three or four main ones. Herring are the ones that are probably the most well-known. Those are forage fish. Surf smelt are forage fish, and that's what we're working here today with. And so they really are an energy source to the next level on the food chain, and that works its way up. And eventually, because the orca, in today's Orca Recovery Day, the southern resident orca is a fish eater, salmon eater primarily. They really depend on healthy salmon. The healthy salmon depend on these healthy forage fish, and that's why we really work hard to protect those forage fish.
So the students divided up into 3 different groups and went to different areas on the beach, led by an incredible volunteer from the Fidalgo Bay Aquatic Reserve team. There they were shown how to complete the forage fish survey data sheet, which includes looking at the different gravel sizes, the different high tide marks, what sort of trees are around to provide shade for the beach environment. Then they collected their samples and took them over to the wash and rinse station. Students dumped their samples into a sieve and poured water on top to rinse all the eggs down to the bottom. From there, they used a vortex method to further filter the eggs out, and then put them into a cup to take into the next amazing step, which is observing under a microscope.
You have found one that is ready to hatch.
Like right now?
And the reason they're so important is that they are the base food for birds that eat from the water, water diving birds, herons, puffins, and also salmon. They're a big food source for salmon. And so they're really important that we know that these forage fish are healthy and that their populations are stable and that where they live is a healthy place. Probably the biggest concern is that they have beaches that are pristine and the right texture of small gravel and sand, that they can come up at high tide and lay their eggs. Well, there are a few things. One is to learn about them, see where they do their spawning and where they live, find out how important they are, so that as you grow up, you practice habits like don't destroy beaches where they have a good chance of spawning, like this beach. You know, don't start building a bunch of docks or digging it up and putting cement on it, that sort of thing. The other thing to do is stay in touch with your local officials and encourage them to not allow beach activities that are destructive to the kind of sand and gravel and natural beaches that these fish need for their spawning. There's always a temptation to build bulkheads, docks, put restaurants out over water. Those things all interfere with the ability to spawn. And I think a third thing is watch your own behavior. What can you do? If you're a shoreline owner, try and keep your beach natural. Keep shade growing over the beach. I know everybody likes the view of the water from their home, but if there's no shade and you have a good spawning beach, then those eggs are not going to survive very well. We're quite lucky here in Fidalgo Bay. We have a lot of good beaches and we have a fair amount of shade. So those are good things to be able to do.